Well, Dave, you know what month it is?
It's August.
It's August. And
Best
you know
month
what?
of the year.
You think so?
It's the only time where 31 days repeats.
Oh, okay.
I've got nothing for August.
Well, see, growing up, I know your wife works at a school as a nurse, and my mom was a teacher. So August, like the school teacher, black clouds starting in the house, it's like only 4 more weeks of vacation. We've got to go buy you kids pants.
Yeah. We don't really talk about school until around August 26th. We
And
just
that's
pretend like it's not happening.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah.
But, so we're talking here today, it's August, and we definitely, our topic today is going to be like, hey, what did we learn over the summer when we're short staffed and kind of crazy? And what can we do in advance now to think about how that kind of repeats itself at the holidays, which I think is such a great topic. Nice light, beach podcast listening to if you're getting your last beach days in. Maybe
We
you're
should have
driving
done this
to the golf
outside.
course. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But Dave, where are you in August? I mean, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Oh, busy August. I'm down in Texas for a couple.
Did you say? Oh,
Sorry,
words not
sorry.
used.
Productive August. Productive. So down in Texas, got a client down there, and then we have a huge conference and a huge training we're putting on down with Germania down there. I am headed on vacation, so I am pulling the vacation card for a week down in Cape Cod. And we have some interesting stuff going on as well, where we do our quarterly sales training, which is a lot more intense than the nice soft role playing that we do with the as part of our sales training. So that's also in August, which we're preparing for now and working on and looking forward to.
That's pretty. First of all, it's awesome. I do have a big question for you about Cape Cod.
Yes.
Do the Cape Cod potato chips taste different when you're in Cape Cod?
No. And it's different when like even up to 5 years ago, you could go to the Cape Cod Potato Chip Factory and
Yeah.
you go through the tour. Now the tour is not very exciting. You walk down a hallway and there's a window, so don't spend the time if you go to Cape Cod.
But as a kid, it's amazing to see that many potato chips.
Yeah, maybe if you have kids. But what used to be really cool is at the end of the tour, you get a free bag of chips.
Yeah.
But they were always like fun flavors. But now they're kind of like you can find them in any store, But before it was like flavors you never heard about. That was the only reason to go to the Cape Cod Potato Chip Factory. But right down the street from the Cape Cod Potato Chip Factory is the Cape Cod Brewing Company. Now, if you're in Hyannis and you want to do something fun, go to the chip factory. Takes about 3 minutes, and then go to the brewery.
Seems like a bucket list just getting checked off. Like, what a day.
That's if you end up in Hyannis. My actual tip for going to Cape Cod is don't go to Hyannis.
Oh.
But that's a separate conversation. So what about you? Where are you going to be in August?
Super productive August as well. Get to go see my friend Steve Holly. We're going to do a sales showdown with his new people. So that's exciting.
Nice.
And I'm going to head to Knoxville, Tennessee to see a new client, get that launched up. I then take off on a jet plane for my vacation, which is in Iceland.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm going to go to the Blue Lagoon, see a volcano, ride some Icelandic horses. I'm the only person that goes to colder places on vacation, but it's like 60 there, so that's like perfect for me.
Well, at least if you're going to go to Iceland, you're going in August.
Oh, yeah.
It makes a lot more sense than, I think, going in January.
And like the sun doesn't go down to like 10:30 at night,
Yeah.
so it's like, we'll have a big party. We're going to go lay it out in Austin for the Germania event that they're having. 25 Germania agencies, 2-day workshop, hands-on, super gritty. We also do our video shoot, Dave. We forgot about that, where we
That's
go back
true.
on. We're going to roll 18 new 3-minute videos. So now's your chance. If you want a topic, you got to let us know sooner than later.
Yeah, please let me know. I'm still 2 topics short. So if somebody has any ideas for a topic, shoot them over.
Love it. And then the following week, I actually get to go to my friends at Spivey Insurance for their second round of retention training, and then get to go launch an assessment down in Texas as well. So it's kind of a Texas type month,
It is. I'll be down there too.
Nice. Nothing's nicer than a nice hot Texas day in August.
Well, we talk about this all the time. For some reason, we do a lot of training in the south in the summer and in the north in the winter.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's when
But
people are inside.
that's true. So we picked this topic, Dave, because you and I were just chatting, and I feel like a lot of agencies are experiencing called the summertime blues right now, right? So we're recording this at the very beginning of August. So when you listen to this, try to think, think about how you felt here. Because for many of my agencies, it's like, I want to pull my hair out. We've got tons of people on vacation. The company underwriters are on vacation. And it's just like you're throwing everything together with duct tape. Are you seeing that out there too?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think going into the summer, we kind of know this is going to happen, but we don't really prepare for it very well. It's almost like we just accept it. We just say, well, summertime's coming, it's June 1st. And I know, different parts of the country have different time off in terms of the school and everything. I always go around the school year because that seems to be when people are taking their time off. So starting late May all the way up till early September, somewhere in the country, people are either getting out of school or headed back to school. And it feels like, April hits, May hits, and we just say, well, summer's coming. I'll see you in September. Like, we're just going to give up for the next 3 months. So I think that I'm definitely seeing this, and it feels like we're surprised by it every year. And come early August or mid-July, early August, people start, like you said, tearing their hair out, like, oh, why did I do this again? So I know in retrospect, and as a Monday morning quarterback, it's hard to say, here's what we should have done. But we do have the opportunity to say this because it's going to happen again next year. So, Kelly, what's the advice you usually give kind of headed into the summer?
I don't think people like my advice.
People don't like your advice. So I want to lead with your advice, and then we can kind of jump off from there.
I mean, I just think and it's not meant to come off as like anti-family or anti, taking time off when it's nice out. It's just more meant saying that like we still have to run a business and we need to be very cautious and conservative on our time off. So, like what we know is that people buy houses in the summer, they buy cars. Like we come from cold weather states. No one wants to move in February in New England, right? So like it is transactionally a busier time of year. And then we're short staffed due to all the vacations. And then we add like another layer on there where some agencies do like summer Fridays and like every other week you get off early, or we take the day after 4th of July off, and we keep like compounding this growing snowball that exhausts everybody, frustrates it, you're putting out fires. And so my thing is you need to go into that summertime with a plan and clear boundaries on what makes sense. Like it's really nice that everybody wants to take the same week off to go to the beach with their kids, but you may have to say no because it just stresses the agency to a point that's not healthy. And, that's why you have a vacation policy, right, Dave, where put in for your time. So that way it's like, hey, that week's booked, you have to find another one. Because the other challenge that I've seen, I'm curious your thoughts on this, is that, you build that plan and it's like at its breaking point, but you're trying to honor everyone's requests. And then someone gets sick,
right.
And then someone quits, and then someone's child's sick and needs to be in the hospital for 2 weeks. And now you're well beyond the capacity you could ever maintain.
Yeah, I think even during the year, we feel a little under capacity, in terms of feeling stressed and overwhelmed and all of that. And then, like you said, we compound it. So I agree with your point. I think you need a plan, and the planning shouldn't be in June saying, okay, when do people want to take off, right? Have a deadline earlier in the year, sometime in April even, and say, look, if you want a week, now's the time to put in for it. Not necessarily saying you're going to get it, but everyone who wants a week's vacation over the summer, here's your deadline. And then see what plays out. So if you only have if you have enough people to cover during those weeks, okay, everyone gets those. But now moving forward, requests can get denied. So if you come to me in June 15th and say, I want June 22nd off, and I already have, my capacity there, my limit, and set what that limit is. Here's how many people can be off that week. And keeping in mind that people might be off for unplanned reasons as well. And then if you do get more than the amount of people that want that week off before, now you have some decisions to make. But you can have that conversation in April, whether you go seniority, whether someone says, well, that's fine, I don't really need that week, I could take this week. Usually it works out, but you want to work it out in April, not be scrambling in June, July, and August to try to calculate who got more time off and who gets to take this, that, and the other thing.
I even think you even do it like when you release the handbook, like the days off, in January. Just kind of hold back and say, hey, this is our vacation policy for the year. So whatever you're planning, make sure we're on the same board. And when I say like limit like early Fridays, I know people out there are cringing, but you could easily do that. You could say instead it's quieter in December. Why don't we all close a little bit early in December, get home to your families and, deal with all the holiday stuff. Like, I just think we can be more creative than just inputting all this pressure into the summer and holding things back a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that a lot of this, as you had mentioned earlier, bringing up the holidays, a lot of this holds true at the end of the year as well, when people want to take more time off. And again, I think we do the same thing here. We come back from the Thanksgiving break and all of a sudden everyone's like, are we closing on the 23rd? What time are we opening on the 26th? Are we, I want, the week before Christmas off so that I can get all this stuff done, but I don't have any time left. So I think it's the same thing. It's looking at it in October and telling people, here's how much time you have left. If your calendar ends at the end of the year, here's how much time you have left. Look at the calendar. What are you going to need? Here's our plan. We're going to close the 24th and the 25th, but we're open, right at the start of the day on the 26th. Tell people what it is in October, just like we were talking about over the summer planning in April. Just plan for it ahead of time so that you're not scrambling last minute. And that's where people get upset, right? People aren't going to get upset in October if you tell them, hey, we're going to be open until 3 o'clock on the 24th. They're going to get upset on December 1st when you tell them that same story. So just plan ahead of time.
Yeah, I agree. And, one of the things like we're toying around as we build our time management pieces, I think agencies need to scale back projects a little bit in the summer. So, if there's a big project and this is a popular time to take off, then hey, maybe you say we're going to get started in September, but don't let it go on forever. Pick the start date and hold it. But it's hard to pull all that stuff on and continue to stress everybody out. There's some projects that are undeniable you just got to move forward with, but maybe it's data cleanup or little things like that, like things that can wait. Try to push them to a quieter time.
Right. And I think that becomes part of the plan. Okay, if we know we're going to be short-staffed in months where it is, we have higher volume, what are we going to let go? Because not everything's going to be completed. Do you want to relax your service level a little bit? Are there projects you can let go? Are there people you can, is there any cross-training that's happening? So like, okay, we ended up short in personal lines, unprepared, but we have somebody in commercial lines that can at least take some calls. So just have a better plan in place so that, during those months, you're not waking up every Monday saying, oh no, what are we going to do this month? And then on the other side, what we were talking about earlier is the plan coming out of the busy time. So what do you do on September 1st or on January 1st? And how do you create that plan, Cal?
No, I totally agree with that because, we like to say, we don't like the word busy, but the productive season, because it's just like accountants, they have a productive season. That's kind of how you need to look at it. So yeah, the crazier times you can scale back, but you have to go hit the accelerator in those slower times so that you're still hitting your numbers, you're still growing. It's not that we kind of go into that and we're still down here and we need to be up here. Game face is on, ready to go. That's what you got to focus on. And I'm also an advocate, like, I think most agencies want people to have a great family life. So even in the summer, if it's crazy and you're going to be short-staffed, offer some overtime. If it's hourly, say, hey, listen, we're behind, but if people want to work 2 extra hours and you keep your service levels up and running because it helps them get their family vacation to be more amazing, put that in your budget so that way you're not like, no, we just don't do overtime here. It's like, no, we'll do overtime if you guys want to work 2 hours extra to get caught up so that we maintain everything and the staff then benefits too.
Right. Absolutely. And I really think that when you're heading into that post time, that post productive season, I almost said it again, that post productive season, that you are prepared to work harder and to understand that, I had my time off and now it's time to get caught back up. And really, that's to me where you need to more objectively define what that means. So, are we behind in emails? Are we behind with our suspenses or open activities in the management system? When are we going to kick our projects back off? So having discussions objectively about what does it mean to get current versus just, okay, it's September, we got to work hard again. Like
Right.
actually defining what it is really what's going to get you there.
And I think also being like having open conversations with your staff. Like, it's a productive time. We need you guys all, when you're here, to come, be focused, rock and roll, and, get through the work. And that's what allows us to honor everybody's vacation requests. And I also think too, a lot of it has to do with the team level. When you take time off, you can't just let that person's work sit on their desk so that then they're coming back to a pile of work and somebody else is off too. Like, it can't be the domino effect of work. We all need to be a sponge and absorb it and look at their suspenses and have a good plan when someone actually takes time off. Like, what do they need to do before they go on vacation? What is everybody responsible while they're on vacation, and what's going to be waiting for you when you return? Like, that should be so clearly defined so that you can go on vacation and not worry. But I can't tell you how many people we talk to, they go on vacation terrified of what they're coming back to.
Right. And I think this really all kind of, to wrap this up a little bit, it all comes back to having a plan. Right? Mm-hmm. Whether you're talking about going into the tougher time, coming out of the tougher time, whether individually you're headed out on vacation or coming back, it's just having discussions and having a plan ahead of time so that we're not just kind of subject to whatever happens during that time and then trying to react. So like most things, it comes back to being proactive and planning versus reactive and hoping.
I totally agree. So we hope that you guys take this and go into December and go into the holidays and think a little differently about how to make it run, how to honor your customer and your staff. I'll leave you. I know one of the things we talked about last time too was just, hey, depending on where the holidays find, don't necessarily give the day before Christmas off or the day after off unless they hit some goals. Like, we're caught up, we're good. That puts the onus on the team to really hustle and take care of the client so they can have that day off. It's not just a given that then just continues to backlog us, right?
Right.
And another kind of creative idea I'll just throw out there for people, we have some agencies that go half staff. So, as opposed to just being shut down, you're half staff so you can cover the basics of everything and people can still enjoy some of those fun days, away with their family at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of industries that do that. My wife's a school nurse now, but she used to work in a hospital and they didn't have the option to close. So, but what they did was they just made sure that it was fairly distributed, who worked on what day. So you didn't have to work Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's Eve, just because those happened to be the days that you were scheduled. Right. They would make sure, okay, if you work Thanksgiving, you get Christmas off. If you work the morning of Christmas Eve, you're going to get, the morning of New Year's Eve off, or however it works out. So it's just understanding that you're not going to be able to please everybody. Sometimes people are going to work just because you do have a business to run, and you want to make sure that you're continuing to really be there for your clients, which is ultimately what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. So we want to hear your best dealing with the productive season tips, so that way you can go ahead and share it with everybody. If anyone has something we didn't mention, we'd love to hear it. If anyone tries it, though, we also love to hear how it worked out for you, so that way we know, people are taking these strategies and really going for it. So we'll have you guys at our next podcast in September. Hope everybody has an awesome day and enjoy the last of your vacation, because it's going back into go time soon.
Absolutely.
Dave, I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.